Have you ever stared at a to-do list so long that your brain just shuts down? Do you tell yourself, I'll start in 5 minutes, but 5 minutes becomes 5 hours, or 5 days? And while everyone else seems to just do things, you're stuck in this cycle of guilt, pressure, and paralysis? Let me tell you something that might change how you see yourself. You're not lazy. You might have ADHD. No, not the bouncing off the walls, can't sit still kind you've seen in movies. We're talking about a very real, often invisible internal kind of ADHD, one that's underdiagnosed, misunderstood, and mistaken for personal failure. Welcome to Psych Circles, where we break down mental health one truth at a time. Let's dive deep into why your laziness might actually be something else entirely. Let's talk about that feeling. You know the one. You have a deadline looming, a sink full of dishes, a pile of laundry threatening to topple over, but you can't seem to move a muscle. It's like you're waiting for something. A surge of energy, a bolt of inspiration, a cosmic kick in the pants, to get you going. And until that motivation lightning bolt hits, nothing. You're frozen. People with ADHD often describe this exact experience. They're not being lazy, they're not lacking willpower, they're literally waiting for their brains to give them the green light. Think about it like this. Imagine your brain has an action switch. In a neurotypical brain, this switch flips on pretty easily. But in a brain with ADHD, that switch is a lot harder to find, let alone flip. It's like it's hidden behind a panel, jammed by a bunch of wires, and sometimes, it just doesn't work at all. So, what does this mean for you? First, stop blaming yourself. You're not broken, you're not making excuses. Your brain just works a little differently. Second, we need to find workarounds. We need to figure out how to jumpstart your engine, even when that motivation lightning bolt is nowhere in sight, and that's what we're going to unpack in this video. Raise your hand if this sounds familiar. You set alarm after alarm. You plan your outfit the night before. You even map out your route with military precision, and yet, you're still late. Maybe not always, but often enough to make you question your entire existence. It's like time is this slippery, elusive creature that you just can't seem to wrangle. Welcome to the wonderful world of ADHD and time blindness. Time blindness isn't about literally not being able to see the clock. It's about having a distorted perception of time. It's like your internal clock is running on a different operating system than the rest of the world. Sometimes, it feels like you have all the time in the world. You start a task, get distracted by a rogue thought about penguins and sweaters, and suddenly, 3 hours have vanished. Other times it feels like time is accelerating at warp speed. You look up from your work, and bam, the deadline you thought was days away is staring you in the face. This constant battle with time can be incredibly frustrating for you and everyone around you. People might think you're inconsiderate, flaky, or just plain irresponsible, but here's the truth, you're trying. You're really trying. So what can you do about it? Again, it's about working with your brain, not against it. We'll explore some practical strategies later on, but for now, just know this. You're not alone in this time-bending struggle. Okay, let's talk about that browser with 20 tabs open, that stack of half-read books on your nightstand, and that mental to-do list that's longer than a CVS receipt. If you have ADHD, this probably sounds way too familiar. You have the best of intentions. You start a project with gusto, but then, bam, another idea grabs your attention. Suddenly, you're 5 tasks deep, juggling priorities like a clown on a unicycle, but making zero progress on anything. And then comes the guilt, the shame, the feeling of being completely and utterly inadequate. But here's the thing. This isn't a failure of willpower. It's not about laziness or a lack of discipline. It's about how your brain prioritizes and transitions between tasks. In a neurotypical brain, there's a filter system. It helps to prioritize tasks, block out distractions, and switch focus relatively smoothly. But in a brain with ADHD, that filter system is like a broken sieve. Everything feels equally important and urgent all at the same time. It's like trying to listen to a symphony orchestra while 10 different people are shouting different conversations in your ear. It's chaos, it's overwhelming, and it's not your fault. So how do you navigate this constant state of mental multitasking? The key is to work with your brain's natural tendencies, not against them. We'll dive deeper into specific strategies later on, but for now, just know this, you're not alone in this whirlwind of unfinished business. Chapter 4. Your brain feels loud and quiet at the same time. Have you ever felt like your mind is a crowded room, but you're the only one who can't seem to follow any of the conversations? That's the paradox of ADHD. Your brain can feel incredibly loud and eerily quiet at the same time. On one hand, there's a constant stream of thoughts, ideas, worries, and daydreams swirling around in your head. It's like having a radio tuned to all stations at once. But on the other hand, when you try to grab onto a single thought to focus on a specific task, your mind goes blank. It's like that crowded room suddenly empties, leaving you alone with the deafening silence of your own inability to concentrate. This disconnect between the internal noise and the external struggle to focus can be incredibly frustrating. It's like your brain is a car with a roaring engine, but the transmission is shot and you can't seem to put it in gear. This isn't just about being forgetful or easily distracted, it's about a fundamental difference in how your brain processes information and regulates attention, and it's exhausting. It's like your brain is running a marathon while you're trying to sit still and focus on a single word. So, what can you do when your brain feels like a battlefield of conflicting thoughts? The key is to create a sense of calm amidst the chaos. We'll explore some practical techniques later on, but for now, just remember this: you're not broken. You're just wired differently. Chapter 5, let's talk about the flip side of the attention struggle. You know, those times when you get so absorbed in something that the rest of the world just fades away. You might lose track of time, forget to eat, or even miss important appointments, all because you're completely engrossed in a project, a hobby, or a particularly captivating YouTube rabbit hole. This, my friends, is the superpower of hyperfocus, an intense, often all-consuming state of concentration that can be both a blessing and a curse for people with ADHD. When you're in a state of hyperfocus, it's like your brain becomes a laser beam. Distractions melt away, your focus sharpens, and you can achieve incredible things in a short amount of time. You might find yourself powering through a complex work project in one sitting, losing yourself in a creative endeavor for hours on end, or devouring an entire book in a single day. But here's the catch. Hyperfocus can be difficult to control. It's not always something you can switch on and off at will, and when your hyperfocus fixates on something that's not particularly productive, like say, organizing your sock drawer by color instead of finishing that important report, it can lead to problems. So, how do you harness the power of hyperfocus without letting it derail your life? The key is to understand your triggers, set boundaries, and learn to work with your brain's natural rhythms. Chapter 6. Let's talk about the emotional roller coaster that often comes with ADHD. Have you ever felt like your emotions are amplified, like you experience every high and low with an intensity that can be both exhilarating and exhausting? A minor inconvenience can ruin your entire day. A small compliment can send you soaring with joy. And rejection? Forget it. It can feel like the end of the world. This isn't about being dramatic or overly sensitive, it's about how ADHD impacts emotional regulation. Imagine your emotions are like a pendulum. In a neurotypical brain, that pendulum swings at a relatively steady pace. There are highs and lows, of course, but they're usually manageable. But in a brain with ADHD, that pendulum is prone to wild, unpredictable swings. It can go from 0 to 100 and back down again in the blink of an eye. This emotional intensity can be incredibly challenging to navigate, both for you and for the people around you. You might find yourself feeling overwhelmed by seemingly small stressors, experiencing intense bursts of anger or frustration, or struggling to bounce back from setbacks or disappointments. But here's the good news. Emotional dysregulation is a common symptom of ADHD, and there are effective strategies for managing those intense emotions. Chapter 7. Let's talk about that nagging feeling that follows you around like a shadow. That feeling of never quite measuring up, of always being one step behind, of constantly disappointing yourself and the people you care about. You might have a mountain of accomplishments, a fulfilling career, loving relationships, personal goals you've crushed, but that feeling persists. It whispers in your ear, telling you you're not good enough, you're not trying hard enough, you're just not enough. This, my friends, is the heavy weight of chronic shame and low self-esteem that often accompanies ADHD. It's the result of years of feeling different, of struggling to meet expectations, both your own and those of others, and of internalizing negative messages about your worthiness. You might tell yourself, I'm just lazy, I'm not disciplined enough, I'm a failure. But here's the truth. You are not your ADHD, you are not your struggles, and you are most definitely not a failure. You are a unique individual with strengths, talents, and a brain that might just be wired a little differently. And you deserve to treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to anyone else struggling with their mental health. If this resonated with you, don't scroll away in silence. Like this video if you've ever been told you're lazy, but felt deep down that wasn't the whole truth. Comment with your experience. What resonated most? Let's create a supportive space for each other. Subscribe to Psych Circles for more real, relatable mental health insights. We're breaking down stigma one video at a time. And share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. You're not lazy. You're doing your best, with a brain that just works differently. Until next time, be kind to your mind. You deserve it.